Hello, citizens, and welcome back. This is our match preview for Newcastle first Man City in the Premier League. Make sure to hit the like button, hit subscribe as well. Let's jump into it. So Newcastle against City. We saw it last season. They gave us two pretty decent games. And the one at St. James's Park was, well, it's one of the most unforgettable games of the season. Oscar Bob winning it in the last seconds of the game after De Bruyne comes back from his long-term injury. Feeds a lovely ball over. And yeah, Bob took it really well, to be fair to him. That being said, look, it doesn't really matter. I think Newcastle have had a pretty decent start to the season. I think they've kind of run out of their bounce currently. You know, when they got bought and Howe came in, they had that little resurgence. They kept them from being relegated, and they were riding on that for last season and this season before as well. I think for the last couple of years, they've had that new ownership bounce, that new ownership feeling where everyone's in a good mood. I think they're slightly losing it. They started to lose it towards the end of last season and throughout this one as well. But look, Newcastle is still a threat, and the only game I saw them in this season was the one against Fulham, and I think Fulham talking to the but otherwise, Newcastle are dangerous. They got some pretty good players, especially up front as well. They got some quick players. The wide players are decent. They love counter-attacking. They love breaking with pace. They love playing direct. And as we know, City, every team plays direct against us. Every team will play with pace. And if you play against a team like, they're going to give them chances as well. And I expect it to go similar to how it did at St. James's Park last season. I'm not going to say we're going to take the lead, but they're going to create problems and they're capable of taking chances. And if we're not quick, if we're not careful, they're going to score. And they'll rack up goals very quickly against you, as Tottenham found out as well, not so long ago. But look, Newcastle are always going to be a threat. They're always going to be a danger. They're all going to be up for it, especially at St. James's Park, where the fans are behind them. Play aggressively. And I think maybe some teams may take a lesson from how Arsenal played against us as well, which is that if you sit back deep enough and you sit compact enough, we're not going to be able to break you down. We're going to be going in long shots from the centre halves from 35 yards out. And if you break with pace, you're going to end up on 3-on-3 at times, 3-on-2. So I'd expect that's how they're going to go. Now, as for City, again, looking back at the Arsenal game, I know we played Watford in the week, forget that game. But you look at the Arsenal game in particular, I think City are going to be quite angry going into it. I can see it going one of two ways. That Arsenal game, I think we would have felt like we got out of jail a little bit, scoring in the last seconds, because I think if you scored the very last second of a game, the end of injury time, regardless of whether you're winning or drawing, you feel like you've gained something. You feel like you've won the match, even though you've only drawn. And I think City will be angry they didn't do more in that one with really poor Arsenal team, like a bit of a coward bottling Arsenal team. So I think when we look at this game, I think at City, one of two things will happen. Either it would affect you one way or it would affect you another. And in that sense, City are going to play super aggressive, be really angry, and want to take that anger out and show other teams and show the world that we're not being bossed around. And we're going to go out there and we're going to absolutely take Newcastle apart. We're going to absolutely destroy them. Win by 6-7-0, or maybe win by a goal or two, or maybe script another draw. But we're going to be aggressive and we're going to push right from the kickoff and really just pen them in their half like we did with Arsenal. Or it's going to affect us the other way and it's going to have taken a little bit of energy out of us. So, like I said, we've had another game midweek, like Haaland. But I see the former one being the case. I think we're going to push Newcastle really hard and we're going to play like champions. I've seen comments in the media a lot lately, like Arsenal hungrier than City for it. What? Arsenal want it more than City. City just don't look as hungry as they did. That's just absolute nonsense. I see a very hungry City team. I see at the end of that Arsenal City game, how can you say anything but City were hungry, that City were angry, that City wanted it less than Arsenal? How could you say that? Nonsense. I see a very angry City team, and I think they're going to take that out on Newcastle. I hope they take it out on Newcastle. I really do. Now, we've got injuries throughout the team. We're not going to be able to rotate as much coming over the next few months, which is a shame because the game's going to come thick and fast with the winter starting. But City, they do have a few injury issues across the board, but I'd still expect it to be pretty much the similar team that played against Arsenal. I think Foden will likely come in. Of course, Rodri is going to be out as well. Nunes did say in the week that he could fill that Rodri gap. I see him dropping Kovacic back there and playing the middle of Foden and De Bruyne with Bernardo on the right. And it has to be Grealish on the left, particularly against a team like Newcastle. Like I said, if a team's going to play counter-attack against you, which most teams will, I don't see a place for Doku in that team. So it has to be Grealish for me because his work rate getting up and down the pitch, his ability to keep hold of the ball, he created the opportunity, the opening that eventually got us the goal against Arsenal. And I think he's having a great start to the season. I think Grealish is playing like a man possessed since he was dropped by England for the Euros. I think Grealish wants it. Yeah, put him in. And of course, Haaland's going to come in and he's going to bag a hat trick because that's what Haaland does. That's it. That's the match preview. Like I said, it can go 1 or 2, well, 1 or 3 ways, draw, win or loss. I think City are going to be angry in this one. And I think, yeah, if I was Newcastle, I'd fear a little bit, even if they're at home. And it wasn't about what a great crowd they have. I'd fear it a little. Yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for checking it out. Make sure to hit like, hit subscribe. Yeah, follow us for the watch along tomorrow. Bye-bye.